Live from the Jupiter Broadcasting Studios, it's Jupiter at Night. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Jupiter at Night. My name is Chris.
And I'm Alan.
Hey there, Alan.
Hi.
How the crap you doing?
Pretty good. How about you?
Good. I'm excited about tonight's episode. It's really all about us. That's always going to be something I enjoy talking about.
It's easy to talk about.
It is. We're going to do a behind-the-scenes episode. It's actually something that we've been meaning to do here on Jupiter Night. We've also gotten a ton of emails about it. People have been asking us like more and more than ever. I think because we're doing more of this live stuff. And I thought, you know what? You are here on Jupiter at Night on the perfect night because you probably are new, right? You're the newest guy to come on board to Jupiter Broadcasting the compound.
Pretty much,
you
yeah.
moved on to the compound just recently.
Oh, yeah.
So before you came here, I'm curious, because you might have the perspective more of the audience, what did you thought goes into a production of something, say, like this?
Well, okay, so when we first started doing Lotso, I just thought, oh, we're going to come over. We have some kind of microphones that are hooked up in the computer, and then, you know, boom, it's recorded. Yeah, we're done.
You're done. That's it.
Right. And then I get here, and it's a studio.
Yeah.
Like, you have mixing boards and, you know, five
lights.
computers in here and green screens and lights, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
It took me by storm, and that's why it's like, hey,
what do you think of the post process after all that?
We're friends, right? Let's. I want in on this. Like, invite me here.
And what do you think of the? Fun. Did you have any idea? You must, because you had some editing background. You must have known the scope of work afterwards.
Oh yeah, well I knew what the general editing was, but I had no idea that it would take so much time. Like editing Lotso, it takes a long time. It takes me a couple days to actually edit that down.
Right.
And I thought, oh, you know, like a video game, that'll be easy. Just throw in a couple pictures, a couple videos, and you're done. But it takes a lot more work than that.
Well, and our live stream audience knows that we shoot Lotso Friday nights, and we do that live every other week. And then Lotso, we give Lotso extra time because it comes out on the Thursday following that Friday.
Yeah, we need that time. Otherwise, it would be pretty boring to watch.
So Lotso has a nice long turnaround. But Jupiter at Night here, we shoot this at 9 p.m. and then we get it out usually around 11 p.m.-ish, depending.
It's live. Like how you see it live in the chat room is that you get the little intro in the beginning and a little outro if you watch it on
Jupiter
the download. And that's it.
So whereas Lotso has like a 2-day editing period, Jupiter at Night has like a 15-minute editing period.
Yeah,
here's an interesting fact that I don't know if a lot of people know. Well, probably not because I've never really said anything. So why would anybody know that? I love those ones. Lass and Lotso have the same, Lass and Jupiter at Night have the same amount of time for editing.
Really?
So Lass is generally just over an hour, right?
Yeah.
And we shoot that on Sundays, and Jupiter at Night is about 15 minutes usually. And so because Jupiter at Night's shorter, I can get Jupiter at Night out at such a higher volume. Just taking it that much shorter, it's shorter rendering time, encoding time, uploading time. It's such a diametrically less amount of work, but it's still the same. So you can also Lass is the same way. Anything we shoot in Lass goes out. Only thing we edit in Lass is we put in segment bumps and then we put it out. Same with Jupiter at Night, right?
Yeah. So it's easy.
It's kind of an interesting thing because then you look at Stoked, and Stoked is also like a 2 to 3 day turnaround. This week we shot some on Friday, we shot some on Saturday, and then edited Saturday evening and Sunday mostly. And Jeremy does all that, and I'll do like the After Effects work and stuff. But you know what? We shot a behind-the-scenes video, and we're going to roll it now. Well, hello there, Internet. This is Chris from Jupiter Broadcasting, and we thought we owed you, the entire Internet, a long overdue tour of our studio. Now, what we're going to do here is, this is going to be maybe a little briefer than before, but we have done 4 other videos just like this. 4. So one of the things that I won't cover a lot in this episode is like, or in this video, is like our green screen. I've covered that a lot. It's a Reflect Media green screen. Yeah, you can watch one of the past videos for that. I thought maybe what we'd touch on is some of the improvements we have made in our studio since, I can't remember when the last video was done, but it's been long enough that we were overdue. First of all, one of the main things we have changed is, let's start with the most forward-facing stuff, and that would be stuff like our live stream things you guys see whenever you tune in for a live one. One of the things you've noticed is we're now running our live stream 24/7, and we're always fueling it with some sort of reruns, either something from Jupiter Broadcasting from the vast catalog, or something like from archive.org that's rights free. Like today, we are showing an episode of the Computer Chronicles. Now, what you'll notice here is this is being played back on a screen, on a monitor. This is a monitor that has also an HDMI line out. This HDMI line runs along the floor and into a Hackintosh we have down here in the corner, and then everything that comes out on that screen also shows up inside our capture software. And this mixer is called Wirecast, and this is an example right now. You can see I'm currently, I don't know how well you'll be able to read the screen, so you just have to take my word for it. We're presently taking audio from the HDMI source, and our camera is the HDMI source. I could flip on our main camera, and there's Jeremy's shoulder. Wave. Yep, see, there's Jeremy. And so it's just a simple video switch. Well, it's nothing simple about it, actually. It's actually pretty sophisticated, but it's a video switcher. And we can also do things like monitoring, so we can see what's being played on the live stream. And then we always have 24/7, we have a studio chat room open, so people can come in and leave us messages or ask us about what's playing, and we can always check that in the chat room there. So we've always got that going too. So we power essentially a 24/7 Jupiter Broadcasting representative in our live stream that's usually checked throughout the day, so sometimes people can leave us messages in there. It's cool. The camera is the same except for, well, actually it's not the same, is it, Jeremy? I think the last time we did this, we had an HV20 here. There's not a lot of difference between this is the HV40 and an HV20. The main difference between the two cameras, they're both Canons, they're both, they use HDV, which means that they save to a tape if we chose. So we like tape because it's tape backup. What we primarily use these cameras for is the HDMI out feed here. There's a blue cable coming out, there's also a black cable coming out. So we have the option to pull from Firewire, which is compressed, or HDMI, which is gorgeous 1080 signal. So what you'll notice is, and I'll step back in the light here, is with that camera, when we capture from HDMI, we Stoked or Beer is Tasty, those episodes are always captured in HDMI with the HDMI connection. And you might notice there's a significant visual difference between Stoked and Beer is Tasty to, say, the Linux Action Show or Jupiter at Night. Because the Linux Action Show and Jupiter at Night are done live in real time. We actually capture them from Firewire into Wirecast and mix, record, live stream all at once. So the quality is slightly less.
You should also mention that this new camera does progressive.
Yeah, that's the difference between the HV20 and the HV40 is that the HV40 supports progressive, which means there's no jaggy line interlacing that has to be removed, theoretically. We have software issues, but not because of the camera. So, wrapping that all up, so that's why sometimes the Linux Action Show and Jupiter at Night look slightly of lesser quality, because they're done in real time live. I mean, the green screen is done live, color correction is done live, blurring of the background is done live, encoding to a large high-resolution lossless capture is done live, as well as flash media encoding to Ustream is all done live through Wirecast while it's mixing shots. When we do Stoked and Beer is Tasty, we do those in what we call high-resolution capture. This is a video capture mode that is like, well, it's uncompressed, so it's whatever, I don't know what the native data rate is, but it requires a RAID 0 of 5 hard drives to even be able to sustain the write speeds necessary. So those episodes, because of that high resolution, means that they contain a lot more visual data of colors and things like that. So then we take Beer is Tasty and Stoked into After Effects. That's why those will look a lot better. But there's a significant time trade-off. For one episode of Stoked, it's about 3 days worth of shooting and producing. Whereas the Linux Action Show, we sit down at 10 a.m. and by usually around 11:30 we're done, and it's out by 5 o'clock. So you go from, what's that?
Well, in Jupiter at Night.
Jupiter at Night's a turnaround of 2 hours. So, but it's a half-hour show, usually, or shorter. Linux Action Show's an hour, so that you can see how much faster that difficulty gets, how much it increases when it's just when you go from a 20-minute show to an hour show. You go from a 2-hour turnaround to about a 9-hour turnaround. Well, Jeremy's trying to remind me of, so we've changed some hardware. Why don't we start, let's start here. Since our last video, we've reduced down to one mixer. We used to have a separate mixer for the live stream, but thanks to our eventual mastering of Mix Minus and things like that, we now are able to do it all under one board. This mixer is a, it's the brand I don't actually like very much. I like Mackey's, to tell you quite the truth, but it's actually been a great board. It's a Behringer. It's been a great board, and I've actually started to change my tune on Behringer, so I've been pretty happy with this guy. We've added this. This is a big piece of equipment that we now have in our way. It is a overclocked Core i7 machine running at 4 gigahertz with 12 gigs of RAM. And
it is loud.
Yeah, it's our loudest piece of equipment we have. And it has a nice ATI 5870 video card in there. And that also does HDMI out, and that's where we get the high resolution captures for Stoked and or any other video games. Actually, it's also how we're feeding Computer Chronicles right now. So anyways, we've condensed down to one mixer, and now all of this feeds into this compressor here. And this compressor applies real-time vocal effects and noise cancellation on our audio, which feeds into the Wirecast recording or the high resolution. That compressor actually runs into this camera. So whatever is feeding this camera via FireWire or HDMI gets the compressor audio. The downside that we have here is due to budget limitations. Actually, all of this is due to budget limitations, but due to budget limitations, this is a complete mix down of our entire board. The entire board goes out stereo into the compressor, into the camera. Obviously, if we could afford it, we would have each channel of the microphones from the mixer going in there. That way, if one person isn't speaking into their mic, the mixer or the compressor will actually shut that mic's audio off, so there's no crosstalk. And then when somebody else stops, it'll shut their mic off, turn on the other guy's mic instantly. Well, not instantly, but milliseconds. Because we're mixing everything together and sending it as one giant stereo signal to the compressor, we don't get that level of control, so our audio quality suffers a little bit.
It has helped cut down on room noise, though, pretty significantly.
Yeah. And it also, the main advantage is what we ended up doing was now we don't have to apply vocal corrections in post. So we saved 20-30 minutes per episode that we do.
Which when you're doing 6 episodes a week.
And the live stream now also has the advantage of hearing the better audio, because now that's also what gets sent out. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much it. We've I guess I'll just explain this really quick. We started talking about this. The last video you might watch, you will have noticed there's like 3 or 4 machines here, at least. We've all condensed it down into one Hackintosh now. And then we have another machine, a little netbook here that's our monitor. So we can monitor the live stream, make sure it's up, see what the people are seeing. So that's kind of like a dedicated, just a cheapo MSI Win that we don't use anymore. That's a dedicated stream monitor.
Because our stream, we do have some software issues. The stream sometimes just dies out while we're doing.
Yeah, this Wirecast does so many things, and on relatively low-end hardware nowadays. Mm-hmm. It's a quad-core system. It's not like this machine that we use for capturing graphics is, fundamentally it's way more of a beast than our Hackintosh is. But the problem is we need Mac OS 10 for what we do, so we're kind of stuck. It kind of sucks. Anything else I should touch on? We raised the lights. This has been nice. It kind of gives us better clearance.
I still hit my head on them.
Yeah, the problem is that. But they used to be about at where my hands are right now. They used to be about at this level, right? So that's nice. So we've got a little more clearance. What the main thing that gave us is we can bring the camera out a little further now, so we can get a little bit wider of a shot. We're not wide as I'd like to be. Our primary limiter with how wide of a shot, you'll notice like in Jupiter Nite sometimes we're a little cramped. The issue is that green screen's only 8 feet wide.
And it has to be 4 to 5 feet away from us in order to get a good key.
So we only have the distance of this green screen, otherwise the background looks stupid. And then we have to be 3 feet from the green screen. So that's now our main limiter, is we'd have to get a larger green screen or change the studio so we didn't use that. I'm trying to go anything else, but I think that's it. Oh, we added a fan. That's big.
That is very important.
It's a nice fan.
Actually, that's our noisiest piece of equipment.
Yeah. The equipment we run while we record, though, is that guy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's probably everything we have for you in this update. If you guys are interested in how we do these, what we do with everything once we take it out of here, like once we record it, once we're done behind the table, how does the show come together? How does it get edited? Green screen, all that kind of stuff. Let us know, and we'll do a behind-the-scenes tour outside the studio, maybe in the editing bay.
Time condensed.
If you're curious, I'll be honest with you, it's not very interesting. It's the software we use, plus just sitting there and taking a very long time to put it together. But if you're curious about it, we'd shoot it. But we'll wait to see what you guys have to say. All right. If you have any other questions, you can, probably the best place is to ask me on Twitter. I'm twitter.com/ChrisLAS, or head over to jupitercolony.com. There's probably a thread in the general chatter section for this very video. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Oh my God. Sometimes OS 10 is super frustrating.
What?
You won't play any of this.
No, some of it.
No.
A little bit.
No.
Chris is teaching me how to use our new encoding software.
Powered by Mountain Dew. And then save it there. Yep. And then...
Oh my God, look at all those options.
There are a lot of options.
That's all the footage that I shot earlier today, already converted and re-encoded for use in Final Cut. Eventually, each of these will get laid down in the timeline in an artistic and altogether epic manner. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed that, and we thought if the chat room had any questions, we'd take your questions now, or if you had any comments too. Oh, you can stop that now. Would you have any comment? Anything else you reflected on as that rolled?
Just as you can, well, just like I said, as you can tell, there's a lot more going on, and you put in a ton of work doing all this stuff, you know, and yeah.
Joe Palm in the chat room asked, the capture machine has a RAID 0. Right now, 4 drives. It used to have 5 drives, but we had 1 drive die on us. Did I film Bear Stacy? No, I didn't, although I did need to take a nap just before this. Final Cut. That's the latest version of Final Cut. And how do you feel about Final Cut? You've used a lot of versions of it.
Yeah, I took a break after like 03, 04. That was like the last time I'd used it until now. So they've made a lot of things easier, like importing your footage is now just, it's so easy compared to how it was. Before it was a big pain in the ass.
I'd say the best thing that we like about Final Cut is first of all, I really like the ProRes format. That's what we capture everything in.
Yeah, and it makes it look really nice.
And I also like the integration with motion, so we can lay down live motion templates inside a project for like lower thirds and stuff.
Yeah, that's nice. It's cool.
Like the whole workflow is pretty good. Even the encoding set, everything's really good.
And with the computers, sure, yeah, well, as
first of all, I don't like that you have to buy Macs to run it, because Macs are inherently more expensive, and that's just a fact.
They're tons more expensive.
And I'm not really in the iMac area. I mean, if you just want a basic editor, an iMac will work. But if you want something where you can add expansion cards for HDMI capture, like we use a Blackmagic in our machine here to capture this video, you have to buy a Mac Pro. You have to spend $2,500.
Yep.
Just to get into the base machine, which is not very competitive at the base rate. So then to get to mid to high with a good amount of RAM in there and things like that, it's prohibitively expensive. So that's been extremely frustrating for us. But the tool set and the software feature set seems to be unmatched in our opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to have a Mac to do all the editing and stuff. I mean, they're made for multimedia, and I waited until now to get one, but they're great now. They're super fast. The rendering, they're just expensive. It's so damn expensive.
How we are funded? We are funded from several sources. We have annoying ads, although ironically the ones you have on the live stream is not our. We don't make any money off those, but we do have a revenue share with the ads on the videos. So when people click those links, we make revenue off of that. Not very much, but in large quantities, which we have the benefit of having is we don't have to make a lot of money, but in large numbers we make enough to pay a bandwidth bill. And then we also are sponsored by GoDaddy on the Linux Action Show, and that covers a lot of our operating costs there. And then we have a lot of nice donors or even monthly subscribers that have signed up.
Thank you.
Over on JupiterBroadcasting.com that help pay like the audio bandwidth for people that listen to the Linux Action Show. You might notice that the audio files download way, way, way faster than all of the other show's audio files. We've had funding from a contributor to fund the bandwidth for the Linux Action Show, and so the Linux Action Show has really great and fast download speeds.
Nice.
Versus the other shows. But and so it's a kind of a combination of different revenue sources.
And see, I bought my Mac through my Alaska money. I spent my own money so I could edit.
Yep.
Easier for me, make it easier for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
now, so I think what we'll do is, I know that some of you might want to see that video again, or you might want to see it separately. So we'll also release that behind-the-scenes video to our YouTube channel later this week over at youtube.com/JupiterBroadcasting. Also, if you saw this on the live stream, you can download and get a higher quality. We'll even put out the HD version of it, so you can watch that too. Anyways, I think that just about wraps up tonight's episode.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, everyone. Well, tomorrow night is the get ready for this. You ready? And I'm hoping. Are you going to be able to join us? Do you know yet? You're not sure yet? Maybe. All right. Well, for the last week and a half, Jeremy and I have been experimenting with doing a digital memory. Everything we can possibly think we'll need to remember, we've been recording via pictures, documents, snips, using Evernote, using dictation services, all these kinds of things to see if we can electronically enhance our memories. Because you can tell I kind of sometimes get a little foggy, especially when it gets light. And
you just get scattered.
I do. I have a lot of things.
You remember everything, but you just don't remember where you're at in the conversation.
And so we've been doing it for over almost 2 weeks now, I guess. And we're gonna give our findings in tomorrow night's and Tuesday night's episode of Jupiter at Night.
Oh my!
That's tomorrow. So I want you to be here if you can make it, because I think you're really going to enjoy it. And I want you guys to be here too. We do it live at 9 p.m. Pacific over at jupiterbroadcasting.com/live. And then we usually release a couple hours after that over at jupiterbroadcasting.com. You can always subscribe to the RSS feed, get the show every time it comes out in pretty much any format you could want it. And also, help us spread the word about the show. If you wouldn't mind sending out maybe a link, a tweet, a blog post.
Tell your friends.
An IM, a Facebook post, whatever you do to
call
spread the
them
word.
up. Send a letter.
Send them your favorite episode to help spread the word. Maybe we can get more people watching, because that's what we're all about. And maybe you can even join us live. That'd be really cool.
Makes it more fun for us.
That's right, guys. All right.
And hopefully for you.
Until tomorrow night, have a good evening.